When we wake up in the morning, we usually have 100 emails, and then we then go look on social media, and we then kiss the kids or the husband, the wife, whatever, and run out. We go on, we get in the car and we listen to the news, and the entire world blew up. And then we get to the office and we're dealing with everybody else. We get home, cook for the kids, or maybe the husband, wife, or the roommate, and then we start it all over again. But what I noticed with the people earlier on in their lives or in their day, what they do the first 90 minutes is they get up, they don't answer any emails for the first hour because they don't care about everybody else's problems. They send out emails, but they won't answer everybody else's because we're so busy taking care of everybody else's problems.
It's great to set a routine in the morning because it sets a precedence for the day, right? And especially if you take charge in the morning, then what you're doing is essentially you're telling your mind and your body that you are in charge, and if the mind and body wants to do something, they need to consult with you first before they do anything. So if you wake up in the morning and then you just respond to whatever's coming your way, then you're setting a precedence that you are not in charge. Right? You're just living in a state of just responding all day long. Yeah. So morning routines are really, really great. But the morning routine should be in alignment with what your purpose is, right?
I went for 10 years with an average of 5 to 6 hours of sleep. I felt like it was genetic, and I felt like I had a ton of energy until something happened. And that thing that happened was I was totally crushed about 2 years ago. I'd been burning it at both ends, working 20 hours a day, not getting any sleep. I went to Hawaii and I said, you know what, I'm gonna have zero schedule on vacation. I slept 14 hours a day for like 6 days straight, and I felt completely different than I had for the previous like 6-8 weeks that I've been burning at both ends. Now, starting about a year ago, I started tracking my sleep, and I aim to stay in bed for 8 hours a day. I can tell you that I am definitively way smarter, way nicer, more in touch with my creative side, way more in touch with my intellect, and I'm just a better human when I have more sleep.
Plan your day the night before. Planning out your day the night before may not exactly be part of your morning routine, but it is a great way to get your day started off right. In fact, I was just reading the story of a very successful self-made multi-millionaire, multi-business developer who said every single morning he starts off by reading his goals. Every morning. He never misses a single day. By planning out what you want to accomplish the night before, you can start off each day with a plan in mind rather than waking up unsure what it is you want to tackle first. Plan out your morning routine as well as to what you want to do when that routine is complete. Then wake up the next morning and put that plan into action.
The way you begin each day sets up the way you live each day. I mean, the Spartan warriors said it so well. Sweat more in training, bleed less in war. And if you want to be literally undefeatable in business, literally unstoppable in life, you really want to dial in your morning routine. And so you want to do things like starting the day sweating, because that releases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, that repairs brain cells from stress. You want to sweat because that's going to increase your metabolic rate, which is going to give you energy. And we live in a world where energy is even more valuable than intelligence. You want to, in your morning routine, take the time to write in a journal so you actually can detect your values, reconnect with your goals each day, get to know yourself even more, because awareness is the beginning of transformation. And you want to get your morning routine right, so you take some time at the front end of your day to learn. Because as you learn more, you know you're going to achieve more. And as you understand better, you can achieve larger.
Now, when you think about being productive, if you got a big day and you got a bunch of stuff you need to get done, most of us focus on when. When do I need to get up in order to get everything done? That's not what you need to focus on. The thing that really impacts your productivity is how. How do you wake up? And here's the deal. If you're somebody like I used to be that hits the snooze button, that kills your productivity for at least 4 hours. Let me explain. You have to understand this. The snooze button creates a mental state, a state in your brain that is called sleep inertia. It's so bad it actually has a name. Here's what it is. When you and I go to bed, we sleep in cycles. We sleep in cycles of like 90 to 110 minutes all night long. And right before you wake up, the sleep cycles, they stop and your body goes into a wake-up mode, okay? Your brain is starting to slowly wake up so that it can start the day. When your alarm goes off, you're in wake-up mode. Your brain is now ready to do its best work. However, if the alarm goes off and you hit the snooze button, guess what you've just done? You've just made your brain go back into a sleep cycle. Your brain is now in a mode that takes about 90 to 110 minutes to complete. You just rebooted the system. So when your alarm goes off and you get up 15 minutes later, you're now in major trouble. And the reason why you're in trouble is because your brain is still locked into a sleep cycle. And this is where sleep inertia comes in. You know how when you hit the snooze button, you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I did not get enough sleep last night. You feel so groggy. You kind of feel like this mental hangover. That is sleep inertia. Here's the deal. Your brain, the cortic region of your brain, which is responsible for decision making, attention, alertness, self-control, that sucker is still in a sleep cycle. And now that you're awake, it's going to take the cortical region almost 4 hours to actually snap out of that sleep cycle. That's why you feel groggy. It's because the part of your brain that's responsible for critical thinking and being alert, it's actually still asleep. Here's the other thing, common sense-wise, that I want you to understand. You wake up, the alarm goes off. What do? Whoop! So you're not even vertical, and you're reading emails. And what is in these emails? Other people's crap. If you don't have boundaries with this puppy, it's going to impact sleep, it's going to impact how much money you make, it's going to impact how much self-control you have. And so when I put this thing outside the bedroom and I wake up, I walk over to where the phone is, it's plugged into my bathroom, I turn it off, I don't look at it yet. I give myself 5 minutes. 5 minutes before I tune into the world to actually tune in up here and say, what's the one thing I'm going to get done today that really matters to me? If you're the kind of person that feels like you don't have control over your day, that your day gets hijacked, that you can't get to the priorities, that you're always behind the ball, this one planning thing will change your life. No phone in the bedroom, turn it off when the alarm goes off, 5 minutes, 5 lousy minutes, 5 lousy minutes before you tune into the rest of the world. And if you've got the kind of job where you've got to check it, get up 10 minutes earlier. You have control over this stuff, and it is so important that you take it seriously now because you're living at the slowest moment of your entire life.
The second thing I do after I wake up is I get out of bed and I make my bed. You're like, Jim, why is that good for your brain? 2 reasons. Number one, clean environment is important for you. Like, you know, when you clean off your desktop, you clean up your office, your bedroom, you have a clearer mind. The second reason why is I want to start my day with success, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So you start with excellence. Take 2 minutes, make your bed, and it's really great because when you come home at the end of the day, you come back full circle, back to success.
It's one of the patterns that you spot really quickly if you interview hundreds of world-class performers, and I just interviewed 130 or so for my new book, Tribe of Mentors, is the fact that they have consistent morning routines. They have some type of recipe, a boot up sequence that they use to win the day in some fashion. And it ranges from, for instance, mindfulness, and that could be mindfulness meditation, where you find, say, Evan Williams, who is well known for Blogger, Twitter, also Medium, who spends time every morning, as I do, with some type of meditative practice. Could be insight, it could be transcendental meditation. You could use an app like Headspace, which I think is a great place to start. And it trains you, it allows you to practice becoming more aware and less reactive so that you're not thrown off by the unexpected challenges and problems of the day. And that helps you to be much more productive and much more centered.
You know, my morning routine 5 years ago was I would get up and I would look at my emails, a couple of them. I wouldn't let them consume me because I'm dyslexic, and I know that when you read, it takes more of the brain to utilize to read it. So I would use it to stimulate my brain, right? I'd get up, I'd read my goals like I've always done, and I would try to eat something healthy, and then I would get to the office because I was like, I can't work out too early because, number one, there's a lot of fires that I need to put out, and I can't do that. As I started to realize what was going on, I started to do these interviews with people. I started saying, all right, maybe I need to change this around. So now it's totally different. So I'll get up, I'll do my goals, I'll still do that small part of reading the email, but I will not look at social media, which I used to. And now I'll go work out, because I used to work out at night when I felt that my emails weren't coming in that much and I wanted to kind of get tired, so I'll rest it. But I start working out now earlier in the day, and I start also scheduling time with my daughter and with my family to make sure that that is priority over anything else. And I also schedule any kind of health things I need to do, doctors, checkups, physicals, whatever the case is. What that did was I'm more productive because the adrenaline running, and I got to work, and I'm more active. I didn't eat the egg and cheese sandwich, which slowed me down, right? And I need to chill out for a little while.
I teach people that daily you have to prime yourself. You have to do something for 10 minutes minimum. If you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. And
ooh, that's so good.
I mean, I just like, you got to do it, right?
That's good. If you don't have 10 minutes,
you don't have a life
to give to priming yourself.
That's right.
You
And
don't
if
have
you
a
want
life
a prime life, you want a beautiful life, you want a beautiful family.
Oh, I love that you say that.
But I do this first time I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
People always ask me, how are you so up all the time? But part of it is I attend all these seminars. I teach all this. But the real reason is
you prime yourself.
I prime myself. That's what I've done for years. It's like I change my body with this radical breathing pattern or movement. There's many ways to do it. But then I do 10 minutes, and it usually goes more because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes is how I get myself to do it. 3.5 minutes of pure gratitude about 3 things. And I pick one of those 3 to be simple, because I don't want to be the astronaut that, he went to the moon, that was his idea of adventure, and then they all come back and were depressed because what do I do for the rest of my life? You know? So the wind in my face, my children's faces, anything. And the reason for gratitude is the 2 emotions that mess us up the most are fear and anger.
Yeah.
And you can't be grateful and fearful simultaneously. They don't go together. And you can't be angry and grateful simultaneously. So if you literally start your day cultivating that, this is the part I was talking about, creating a highway to happiness.
Yeah.
And then I do 3 minutes of my 3 to thrive. What are 3 outcomes or results I'm really committed to, and I see them as done and fulfilled. And in 10 minutes.
For that day?
I usually look at something at 6 months to 12 months out. Wow. Something that's a little bigger. And then what I feel is fulfilled and done, and I give thanks for it. And you're at the end of those 10 minutes, and usually it's 15 or 18 for me, I am so wired. Now, I've done that for years. It's been the base of me. What's different with suffering is measuring it moment to moment, Oprah. And then the third one for me is, okay, how do I love more? Because love to me is an action. It's not a word. It's not an emotion. It's like, if you love, you act accordingly. So love, and what can I do in a loving way, and what can I be grateful for? And that little 3-step process ends the suffering.